Greetings, film freaks. We are the Podcorn Kernels. Join us as we discuss the hard and often indigestible truths that are at the center of the fluffy and delicious world of cinema. Season 2.
What's poppin', people? Welcome to the Podcorn Kernels podcast. My name is Adam, and joining me in your ear holes is Harry. Say hello, Harry. On today's episode, we will be talking about Ricky Stanicky. This is a 2024 film directed by Peter Farrelly and stars Zac Efron, John Cena and Andrew Santino. IMDb describes the synopsis as follows. When three childhood best friends pull a prank that goes wrong, they invent the imaginary Ricky Stanicky to get them out of trouble. 20 years later, they still use the non-existent Ricky as a handy alibi for their immature behaviour. Here is an original song to support the synopsis. Ricky Stanicky, in situations most sticky, he uses trickery, but in real life he explicitly sings about dickies and what shoots out oh so stickily. That is your boy, that is Ricky Stanicky.
Friends telling lies and no fun surprises. Friends telling lies and no fun surprises.
Ricky Stanicky not being picky, but this shit is vanilla-y. I just want a film that tickles me, not box-ticking mediocrity.
Friends telling lies and no fun surprises. Friends telling lies and no fun surprises.
Let's start with some facts about the film. The movie was first announced in 2010 with James Franco as Ricky Stanicky. As a result of scheduling conflicts, Franco dropped and the role went to Joaquin Phoenix. The shooting kept getting delayed, and in 2013, Phoenix dropped off the movie and the role went to Jim Carrey. Carrey waited for a full year for the production to start, then he dropped off and the role went to Nicolas Cage in 2015. Cage thought the role was an opportunity to remind viewers of his comedy chops, but at that time, international financiers asked for action elements to be added to the film as it would be sold as a Nicolas Cage movie. Their request was denied. The project stopped until 2021 when Zac Efron and Amazon became interested in the script. Finally, John Cena was cast as Ricky Stanicky.
How can such an very average R movie have such a storied past?
I think that fact is more interesting than the entirety of this film.
There could be a film about that.
I think that film about Ricky Stanicky being made would be better than Ricky Stanicky.
And Nick Cage saying, I want to show my comedic chops. Dude, your dramatic chops are comedic.
Yeah.
What you do
Yes.
in film is only comedic.
Yeah. But imagine Ricky Stanicky played by Joaquin Phoenix. What are you doing? That would be the worst casting I think I've ever seen.
That would be bad. That would be a king to like a king of comedy or Joker, not because he's in that film and it's similar, but watching him on stage trying to be funny. He's not a comedic actor.
No.
He's never been able to be one.
I could see James Franco. I could see him do this role. I reckon he'd be all right.
Well, it would be similar to a lot of his roles.
Yeah, it would be Sal in Pineapple Express, just the guy that you can't help but laugh at. Like, he would have done a fine job, but for what it's worth, John Cena was probably the right choice. Jim Carrey is Ricky Stanicky.
So the idea for this film is more than 15 years old.
They've been trying to get this film made for, 14 years.
Why?
I don't know. You hear about really prestige films that have taken years and years to make. And then you hear that Ricky Stanicky's 14 years of trying to be made.
That's just odd. I didn't see it. I saw this as a film that was pitched maybe a year and a half ago to a studio, a little happy-go-lucky R-rated movie, and they went, "Yeah, we'll take it on. It's a little payday for us." 15 years with some of the biggest stars on earth trying to get this film made.
But A-listers A-listers going, I want in on Ricky Stanicky, and then going, oh fuck, I can't make Ricky Stanicky, and then it's trickled down to John Cena. For me, when I read that fact, I was like, this film reeked of a director being told by a studio, yeah, you haven't made a film in a while, we need a film, come up with film, what have you got, a group of friends make up an imaginary friend, what's his name, Ricky Stanicky, yes, let's go with that. So this 14 years.
So this film's the equivalent of the Titanic. Everyone wanted a ticket on that boat. They heard it was being built in Ireland. They heard it was going to depart from Southampton. Everyone's like, oh my God, we have to get on this boat. We've got to see this boat. It's going to be incredible. They get on the boat and it sinks.
Yeah. Promised an amazing trip and it ended in
15 years. That's probably one of the most interesting facts I've ever heard about a film that is not even in the top 200 comedies of all time.
Yeah. I think if it made the top 200, I'd be like, that's generous.
Not to say honest. I didn't enjoy aspects of it.
Yeah. The DJ set was performed by Mark Rebier. He is a DJ from New York City and has gone viral many times for his live sets in which he improvises songs with the help of his loop station by recording several instruments, tracks and vocals on the spot, often in response to an enthusiastic crowd. These performances have earned him the nickname Loop Daddy.
He's my favourite DJ. And because I'm not a DJ person, I've never understood how people can go in, all stand and face a DJ while he does DJ stuff. Because to me, there's no real craft. I get that it's technically difficult, and I get you have to have a good ear to blend music together. But I'm just like, this is dead to me. This is dead music. I don't know why we're cheering this guy on. He's pressing buttons. But that guy, Mr. Loopy, whatever the hell his name is,
Loop Daddy,
when he shouts something like, I want to fuck, or something, and then hits a beat, I would move. I would have to move.
I'm right there with you. That's not my genre of music. That's not my vibe tribe. But when I see him, I've seen him a lot on YouTube, when he bursts in and starts a song, I'm right there. I can't help but start moving.
It's the energy.
Yeah. Pure energy.
Most DJs do what we're doing now. They hold a headphone to one ear, they move their shoulder a little, they look at the audience, and then they press a button and everyone jumps a bit higher and he puts his hand up and self-bips. He self-bips himself. I'm like, wow. Yeah. That was so cool, man. That was like when Hendrix did Hey Joe in 1969 or something. It's so good. Well done.
Yeah, for me, real musical talent comes in the form of writing a song, writing a tune and then performing it with passion because the words or the music means a lot to you. Rebooting and remixing the same 4 or 5 songs to an upbeat track, it's not my cup of tea.
No, it's very sheeple type music, isn't it?
Yeah, not for me.
No.
Both John Cena and Nathan Jones have wrestled for the WWE. Now, that's a lackluster fact, but there wasn't many facts.
Who's Nathan Jones?
The big fella that played Big Ben in this. He was in Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, Boagrius from Troy.
Yeah, the big giant fella Australian man.
Boagrius! He's a beast. Yeah, and in Mad Max, he was the, I had a baby brother.
Yeah.
He's cool, man. I mean, I like him. He's a beast.
He is a fucking tank of a man, huh?
He big boy.
He a big boy. He makes Cena look small, and Cena big boy too.
I reckon there's a photo of him when he was 14, breastfeeding on mummy still.
Wow, that's why he's so big.
Gotta get that milk.
He is massive because of mummy milk.
Bones, big long bones. I'd like if someone found his femur in the ground in 300 years, they think man could have been things.
Man was things.
Man could have been giants.
Man was half man, half mammoth. Manoth.
Yes.
What did you like about Ricky Stanicky?
Cena's character was hilarious. Yeah. From his love of calamari to his pitch about the majesty of dogs doing missionary. I only wish I had seen more of that and less of we've gone too far. Our jobs, our wives, we've gone too far. It didn't need that aspect. That's not going to decide. But what I'm saying is he, in comparison to the film, he's a character that was worth exploring. And, it should have been about him. It shouldn't have been about doing the right thing. We don't watch R-rated movies to do the right thing.
It's
to do the wrong thing.
I want to watch an R-rated film and sit there and go, should I be fucking laughing at that? But you can't do that nowadays. I sound like an old cunt, but you can't do that nowadays. They don't make them.
Depends. There is an air of change coming back. I feel it because you're getting a lot more publicity, a lot more media that are purposely now standing in the world where they can say, we're allowed to talk about everything. We're going to be a place where everything's uncensored. As long as it is not hateful, you should be able to share opinion. And I think comedy is that world. Like Jimmy Carr said it recently about how, when I get cancelled, because I will get cancelled, because I told a joke there's a joke out there where someone's going to try and cancel
Yeah.
me. And when they say, you got to apologise for it, he said, I'm going to go, I'm sorry. And they go, you don't sound like you mean it. And he goes, oh, right. So what you're saying is I could say something and not mean it. Now you're getting it.
I've seen that clip. I've never seen it so well put, so perfectly presented. That's exactly it. And listen,
my nipple's hard now, man.
I can see them. They look tasty. But I'm right there with you. Like, if comedy, it doesn't have to be your personal opinion. You don't have to make a joke because you think that's what it is. You can just make a good joke for comedy's sake. It can be well timed. I feel like people should still be able to be a butt of a joke and it be just because it's a fucking joke. Like, we should all be able to be big enough and grown up enough to be able to make fun of ourselves and allow people to make fun of ourselves because what is that world? It's too serious. Like, if we don't have comedy, what the fuck do we have?
Exactly. What was the last R-rated movie you remember really enjoying?
I can't. I thought long and hard about this, and I couldn't think of one.
I think Due Date was mine. I think it was the last time. Maybe that or The Vacation with Ed Helms, but I think Due Date. Which is obviously a bit of a rip and pull from Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
Yeah.
But pound for laughter-wise, for the scenario, being on a road trip with someone you despise.
Well, for me, I couldn't think of a film in recent years. I'd have to go back to the early
Tropic Thunder,
mid 2000s, and the likes of Due Date, the likes of Tropic Thunder, like you say, Pineapple Express, those wacky comedies that did push boundaries.
Tropic Thunder were in terms of purposely trying to highlight the shortcomings of like serious acting and stuff. Like, Tropic Thunder has a guy with learning disabilities in it, Simple Jack.
Yeah.
It's got a white guy being a black guy.
With blackface.
It's got homosexual priests.
Yeah.
It's a plethora of fuck you.
Yeah, it takes risks.
Yeah.
And it's not concerned that, this will upset some people. Like, comedy should just be about having a laugh. And if you're a comic or if you're a TV show or a film and you're not only pinpointing one demographic of people, if you're laughing at lots of different people for lots of different reasons, I think that's fine. If you are solely targeting one group of people, then I think that's where it could be a bit like, well, lay off a bit. Like, come on, it doesn't have to be dead set against a singular demographic. But yeah, I mean, if you'll allow me, I'll tailgate on that dog with you, because John Cena for me is the best thing about this film.
Yeah.
As soon as Mr. Cena entered the ring, the film improved. His turn as Ricky Stanicky, aka Rock Hard Rod, was by far the best thing about the movie. Now, seeing an action man showcase genuine comedic chops offered some relief from what was, in my opinion, a pretty disappointing R-rated comedy. I guess the biggest compliment I can pay the film is that I never thought I would say that the best thing about any film would be the fact that John Cena was in it. Yeah. Can you imagine that? What world's that?
He'd usually be the worst sort of cameo in an okay film.
Now, I've seen the man recently in Peacemaker, DC's series spin-off of the Suicide Squad, and he was great fun in that. Again, he showed his worth as a comedy actor. He was really fun in that, and he sort of made that series worth watching. He's got legitimate talent as a comedy actor, but to look at him, you would be like, well, he's action star, he wrestler.
Yeah, I think I saw him in Trainwreck with Amy Schumer, and he's like one of the guys she's shagging at the time, and he played a hilarious character in that. I think it hints at that he's potentially homosexual, but he can't face that.
Right.
So he's like still banging someone like Schumer, but there's aspects to it. But I might have my feelings muddled up. It was a long time ago I watched it, because when I was really hard on Bill Hader because of Barry.
Oh, Bill Hader's great.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he is funny. I think he is a comedic actor. Like The Rock, really. They tend to transition quite well from a world of fake into a world of comedy.
Yeah. Oh, you did it. More likes for me?
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose.
Go on.
Well,
yeah.
I liked seeing his character prove there's more to him than meets the eye. And when he isn't a learned man or a business mogul, he shows his worth in spotting air dicking, like Sherlock of Cox. Yeah. The fact that he tells William H. Macy's character, dude, you keep sucking imaginary dicks and wanking guys off while you're doing speeches. And the way William H. Macy's like, God damn it, you didn't fucking tell me about this. It's brilliant. I love that. It was nice to see when Zac Efron's mother-in-law, she believes him to be fake, to be a hired actor, that he's not a real guy. when he like almost sweats and breaks and then turns around and drops all this amazing
Knowledge, yeah.
words about how to deal with Greenpeace and non-profit organisations. I was like, yeah, a little win. I took that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It's fair to say I probably sat down and watched this film and enjoyed aspects of it because of our recent journeys into genocide and child abuse.
Yeah. I mean, it did offer a bit of light relief where you didn't have to sit there and think and sob to yourself afterwards because of the heavy subject matter. But I don't think it did enough of that.
No, it didn't.
It needed to be more riotous. It needed to be more risk-taking. I mean, there were parts in this film where I sort of laughed a little bit, but not massively. A few times I raised a smile. I did an exhalation of the nostrils out of humour a few times, but it wasn't anything like when I saw everything pointing towards R-rated comedy, I was like, wait, are they back? Are we allowed to do this again? And then
still
didn't live up.
There was definitely little veins of that something has changed in comedy. The concerned girlfriend and wife about why are you lying to me and stuff. It was like, oh, you lost it. You lost it. We're not supposed to care.
Yeah.
We're not supposed. Will Ferrell's character in what was the big one? Old School.
Yeah.
The funny aspect is that he doesn't care that he's going to lose his wife just so he can get fucked up at a fraternity.
Yeah.
He wants to listen to Whitesnake and fix an old Camaro.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do.
Let the man do what he wants to do.
Not Zac Efron crying, leaving a love letter to his girlfriend because he fucked up. I'm the most important person in my life. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, mate?
Yeah.
Sorry, I went into a dislike.
No, that's fine, man.
No, yeah, you go.
Wait till you get to my dislikes. I'll be talking for days.
I've got one more like.
Go for it.
His montage, his medley of songs by famous artists, and a few of them I just use some of the words here. Splooge out my penis by Alice Cooper. It's a nice day for some wood whacking, Billy Idol, and Ooh Baby I Masturbate by Peter fucking Frampton. And that last bit there was a quote from High Fidelity.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at your levels, lasagna, Dad.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm just going to tag team you if you'll allow me.
Yeah.
It's that masturbation montage. The mashup of masturbation-based parodies was by far the best scene in the film. Now, I still have a huge soft spot for immature, crude humour, and the scene in which Cena belts out cock-based tunes was pretty much the only thing that salvaged this film from being an absolute disaster in my eyes.
Uh-huh.
He put everything into those penis parodies, and I now want to see John Cena release a hard-on greatest hits.
Hard-on greatest hits.
I'd like to see more of that, like you said.
Or the greatest hits of hard-ons.
Yeah. Like you said, if the whole film was based on Ricky Stanicky going from a cock parody act to pursuing his dreams of being a legitimate actor and overcoming alcoholism and all of these things, I think I'd have been there for that.
And overcome a guy that took a trash smutty show to Broadway. Someone wanted to change Broadway. They went, I'm so sick of the musical genre. It's always the same. It's always a princess or someone that starts off without parents and then they come out of it and they fall in love and stuff. No, I want this guy singing 24/7 about dicks.
I want a cock extravaganza.
Yeah.
And they could, imagine that. He went from a one-man show. Yes, a cocksmith, a coxman. Went from that one-man show to a huge production with loads of people singing about masturbation. And then the final scene, they show a part of that play. I would have been there for that.
Just got to laugh, ain't you?
Yeah, you got to.
Everyone does it, except people without arms. Even they could do it. If
they believed.
I believe I can come.
There's another one. And final like, I'm going to be honest, I couldn't think of another one, so I'm chucking in the fact that Ricky Stanicky kind of promotes telling the truth, and I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, nah.
Well, yeah.
I would only be in awe of my partner if I found out she'd made an imaginary friend so her and her mates could go to a spa or they could go paragliding or something. I'd just be like, it's pretty cool.
I'd be like, the level of
now,
thoughts,
what can I do?
I'd be like, the level of thought that's gone into that. Like, you've made that, you can't decide what you want for dinner, but you can go and create a fake human to go and live out things that you don't want me to know about. I'm a little upset that you had to lie, but I kind of respect it.
Yeah.
Because that's elaborate.
I agree.
Yeah.
Exposition was weak, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like the kids acting, I didn't even put it down as a dislike, so I'm just going to fill it in there now. But it was so weak. The whole coincidence of like, oh no, we've set fire to our house. What do we do? The acting was terrible from these little kids. And then it's like, oh, let's just, these boxes, let's write a kid's name on it. Ricky Stanicky and throw it. Oh yeah, guys, he's the best friend we never had and stuff. I just thought it was a weak exposition.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as that was the opening scene in the film, as soon as it happened, I was like, well, I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
These kids have pissed me off.
Yeah.
The whole premise of, what can we think of a name? Oh, Ricky Stanicky. And then the film starts. I'm like, I started off on a base level and now I've gone into minus because I'm pissed off. I went into an overdraft of being pissed off before the film even really started.
Went into your overdraft.
Yeah. And then it sort of never really picked up, unfortunately, for me.
No.
Dislikes?
In comedy, for me, like, you have to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean some comedy is made intentionally to be sparse, i.e. Napoleon Dynamite. It's all about mundanity and anticlimax, and that works. And the other side of that coin is like Superbad is everything, like a bubbling cauldron of risk versus pleasure, and it works. This film's neither. No. You can't lace an R-rated comedy that starts with masturbation medleys and then have Zac Efron acting like his character's killed a child in a hit and run.
Yeah.
They're playing chess and checkers on the same board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
no one wins.
They're trying to both be, in quote marks, R-rated comedy, and this film's got heart. We've got real heart. It's like, I don't want to watch a film about heart. I want to watch a film about cocks.
Yeah.
Cock music.
Yeah, I want to see a guy deplug a melon and microwave it because he's going to fuck it.
Yeah.
Because he's fat and he can't get anyone.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want scandal.
Exactly.
You go and watch comedy for scandal. The ancient comedies of Greece and Rome, it would have been men dressed as women getting buggered by a doll on stage, and they'd have been going, "Hoo, ha!" It was outlandish. It was crazy. They'd laugh about beheading people and shit.
I mean, I would find that more funny than Ricky Stanicky watching that now.
Yeah.
I definitely would.
Disturbing.
A little bit.
You've got some guy next to you with a half greasy chicken leg, just chewing it, screaming, "Yeah, yeah!" Apparently, we're in medieval Germany.
Yeah. Oh, it happens.
Yeah.
More dislikes?
It is very similar this to dislike. I don't need seriously active risk in our R-rated comedies. No. Like the rest of the cast, like are in a drama when Cena's in a mid 2000 comedy.
Yeah,
it doesn't match. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
I think the problem lies with this film in the promotional team and the advertising, because all over the poster, huge writing, an R-rated comedy, but it ain't.
It's not.
The only R-rated comedy you get in this film is exclusive to either cocks and fucking.
Yeah.
That's it. You've got the cock parodies, you've got H. Macy doing air dicking, and you've got two dogs fucking. That is the only notes in terms of R-rated comedy this film has.
Did you find the character of Wes a little alarming? Like a sidekick black character?
Yeah.
Supporting Efron and Santino, who are both extremely successful businessmen, and Wes is a dope, smoking, stay-at-home black guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
But what they're doing there,
they missed that bit.
They're stereotyping, but in that sense, and then they're box ticking by making him gay.
Yes,
and it's like, well, you're not even doing him justice by giving him an interesting character. On one hand, you're saying this black character is the one out of the group that is the down and out, which is stereotypically what they do in comedies, which is awful. They're stay at home, drop out, weed loving bum. But then they've gone, but he's gay. Is that enough?
I don't think so.
No.
It was very odd, and I found the fact that Santino and Efron's characters, being close mates, have exactly the same job in exactly the same company. The chances of that happening so rare.
Yeah.
So it was very odd. It was a really weird soup. Strange ingredients. They've put a little bit of cayenne pepper in there, but also basil. You're like, dude, don't cross cuisines.
No, keep it simple and it will taste better.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
None of it fit.
It's like when you go to one of those food buffets and they've got cuisines from all over the world, and you get excited and you're like, oh, I know what won't be arse. I'm going to have chow mein next to margarita pizza, and then I'm going to have a slab of lasagna.
And guess what?
In what world is that acceptable?
And guess what? It is arse.
It is.
It is arse.
Yeah.
Your taste buds, they're dedicated to one sort of thing. They need to understand it. It needs time to ferment it, to taste well. No, I can't mix Chinese and pizza.
Yeah, if I'm going to a pizza restaurant, I'm not going, do you know what I'd really fancy? Some udon noodles.
Yeah.
To dip my pizza in. Are you fucking mad?
It makes no sense. What do you want for your starter at the curry house? Garlic bread?
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
God.
Not a fan of that.
No.
What else wasn't you a fan of about this film?
That's it, really. I think I've covered it.
Yeah,
I think I've covered it, mate.
This might come across as an essay, and man may well be judged for being so impassioned about such a supposed light-hearted film, but I'm going to go in because I want to.
I think you should.
Yeah, cowardly comedy. Ricky Stanicky has the fact that it's an R-rated comedy plastered all over its poster and promotional content. For me, this is one of the tamest, dullest and weakest supposed R-rated comedies that I have ever seen. Like we said earlier, comedy should always be about pushing boundaries and testing what is acceptable to laugh at. Yet we seem to live in a world where comedy isn't allowed to fully express itself out of fear of upsetting people. Now, I think back to the comedies I loved from the early to mid-noughties and can't help but think that they would and could not ever be made today. And that just makes me sad, man.
Why, though?
Because people are too insulted. People get too upset. The
Step
studios
Brothers.
are too... Exactly, even Step Brothers.
But what aspects of it are so offensive? I don't get that.
We live in a society where people watch things to try to be outraged about so they can put it on social media and people can witch hunt and bandwagon.
But
And
they're people that don't have lives.
Yep.
They're people that sit there and need to be heard.
Yep.
They're the fat woman during COVID that came out and said, I can't afford to feed my kids, and she's 29 stone.
Yeah. With Big Mac
Yeah.
scatterings on her jumper.
Yeah. And I haven't been able to work for 20 years because of my fibra. Now, see, I would get cancelled because it just sounds like I'm attacking fat women.
Yeah. But that's my point.
Mm.
Back in the day, like a comedy would be like, I'm going to make a joke about a fat woman, and people would be like, oh, that's funny. That woman's fat. That's funny. Now it'd be like, how dare you body shaming, fat shaming people?
Yep.
It's a fucking joke. But Ricky Stanicky seemed more interested in box ticking as many inclusivity boxes as possible, and less interested in delivering risky but rewarding comedy. When I see R-rated, I want my boundaries to be pushed. Not a single risk was taken in this one, and the only part I found funny was a muscle man singing about the beating of his meat.
It's so funny. You stopped, looked at me with the deadest eyes, just like, you. Obviously, I agree, yes.
Yeah. I just wanted, and listen, there might be people out there that go, no, you're going in a bit hard. Why are you so butthurt? Like, why are you taking it so seriously?
Because we grew in that world.
Yeah.
We became friends because of mid-noughties films, early noughties films.
Before I found a love of thrillers and dark comedies and satires and world cinema, comedies was my go-to. Rush Hour used to be like one of my favourite films, and then obviously as I've grown and evolved, I've learned to like more substantial films. But my bread and butter, my go-to films for decades used to be comedies, outlandish comedies. Oh, there's a new Will Ferrell film coming out, it's going to be brilliant. And it was that Rat Pack group of comedians, actors back in the day.
Yeah, the Wilson brothers.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell,
Love it.
Steve Carell, all the boys.
Yeah.
And now, can't do it.
That's so stupid.
I'm all worked up, so I'll go straight into my next dislike. It's a one-note comedy. As if my last dislike was not enough, I'm going to kick Ricky Stanicky while it's down by pointing out that it's a one-trick pony. Besides the cock choruses, the only gag this film has going for it is the fact that John Cena keeps getting the trio of so-called friends out of trouble by winging it. This was only mildly humorous when it was used as a plot device for the first time, but by the time we get to the end, the same gag of everyone loving and buying into what a down on their luck actor was selling got boring. Now, like you mentioned, no attempt was made to make other characters funny. None of the other actors got to show any real comedic qualities, and the film just trudges along until it whimpers to a climax that is just as dull as the dancing scene on screen in the closing scene.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
I liked all the words in there as well, like
Yeah.
climax and stuff. It's all relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, I did try.
I never heard you say so many euphemisms for dick.
Yeah.
Or just outright dick and cock in one episode.
Yeah.
So much.
And I'm like slagging off the film for only talking about dick, and man's making just as many.
You've said it so
cock
much, I can
puns.
almost taste it.
Yeah.
I can almost taste it.
You can taste my
Gag.
conversational
Yeah.
cock cum.
Yeah.
I've got one more dislike.
Yeah.
I spent the whole film cringing.
Mhm.
The script was bad. The chemistry between the three so-called friends was non-existent. The inclusion of stereotypically marginalised groups of people felt forced. The scenes without Cena felt stale. And all of these combined to make me sit here feeling uncomfortable with a film that had promise in its premise but offered nothing but disappointment in its execution.
But yeah. Zac Efron meeting one of the characters in a bar because his life's going a bit upside down, having a beer like he's a cop trying to solve a murder. I was like, what the fudge is this?
Yeah.
I laughed more at RRR because it was awful.
I could cuddle you. Legitimately.
I did.
Because I thought, when I give my rating, man across the table, pond over there, is going to say what you think
I still will say that.
Is better than this.
I still will say that.
And my response, my rebuttal would have been what you just said. I laughed more at RRR.
You did, but again, for the wrong reasons.
But I was supposed to laugh at this one.
Yes. So this is weak, confirmed.
Mm.
You weren't supposed to laugh at
I know, but I had a fucking great time doing it. I got some questions.
Oh, hang on.
Apparently, Ricky Stanicky is an R-rated comedy. What are your 3 favourite R-rated comedies that are actually R-rated?
Oh, there was many.
Many.
One of the latest ones that I really adored, Jason Bateman, Bad Words, I thought it was exceptional. Watching a full-grown man say to a little Indian boy, shut that curry hole and turn around in a plane, I was pissing myself. And that little kid is an amazing little actor. The comedy in that film killed me.
And that is risky comedy by today's standards.
Bateman don't care.
Yeah.
He don't care.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably more recent than the examples we brought up earlier. So
Bad Words,
they still are out there, but not as much.
Yeah, that definitely came out after the due date.
So it must have been, probably 10 years ago?
I loved Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Thought that was brilliant. One of the best cameos ever by Russell Brand. Brilliant, just as a sex-crazed rock star.
Yeah,
Superbad's still one of the most entertaining, sort of nostalgic I went to school to films.
Yeah,
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
40-year-old virgin.
Oh, kills me.
Blew the gasket off comedy in that year. Midnight Run. That might not be an R-rated movie, but there's some old ones as well. Porky's, I adored Porky's. Porky's was the first ever real, before American Pie. Porky's really did start a lot of that sort of comedy where sex was the nucleus of the whole thing.
Now,
really funny.
That is comprehensive coverage of comedies that are rated.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, they're great. The 3 I've got: Step Brothers, Pineapple Express, and The Hangover.
Yeah,
like they all. I reckon I could still watch. I haven't watched them for a while, to be fair, but I know I loved them so dearly, and they used to make me belly chuckle. Those films, and I hope that if I watch them now, I'd still find some value in them.
Well, the Hangover actually made people around the world turn to their friends and go, we should go Vegas.
Yeah.
People were doing it already, but you could actually look at the statistics of how many more people around the world went to Vegas on a man holiday because they wanted to steal a tiger, get punched by Tyson, fall asleep, kidnap a baby. They wanted to do all of that.
Listen to those sentences you just said.
Yeah.
That's risky comedy.
Yeah.
That's not box ticking comedy like, oh, who are we going to upset? Oh, we can't. Oh, no, what if someone's hurt by that?
Yeah. And the only risk in that film is they've lost the guy that's getting married.
Yeah, fuck him. He was boring anyway.
Yeah, and that's the Duracell battery that keeps the film going.
Yeah.
There's so many. It's so easy to make a comedy. It amazes me that they fail.
Yeah.
Easy.
You've done it.
What makes you laugh? That's a comedy.
Yeah.
What makes you giggle? If you're going to make a comedy, just do what makes you laugh. That's all it is.
Yeah. And there is no film out there that pleases 100% of the people that watch it. It's impossible. So you make a comedy, and if you upset a few people, but a few more find it funny, then take the risk. Otherwise, comedy as a genre is going to die out, and people are just going to be like, oh, well, I actually don't enjoy laughing because the thought that what I'm laughing at might upset a person I've never met is too hard for me to swallow.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, watch Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. I mean, that's a comedy. That is an exceptional comedy. Your lead actor in it gets called racial slurs throughout the film. He laughs it off. He finds a way to do over the bad guys. It's just it's so fun. It's enjoyable. And them films are dead. Trading Places is dead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so much something like Step Brothers is, because I can't think of anything in Step Brothers that's offensive apart from the fact that every character's white. I mean, if that's offensive, then fuck me, we don't live in a realistic world. Because guess what? There's neighbourhoods where there's just whites.
There's also neighbourhoods where there's just black people.
Yeah, and there's neighbourhoods where they're completely mixed.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't say, like, I have to cast a white guy in this film because otherwise they're all going to be black. You can't do that.
No.
It's an artistic choice. It's like, I just want a good actor. I want to put these characters in a film.
Yeah.
It's so sad that you couldn't go and make a film today without having to tick a box, which I think is racist.
Yeah.
I think it is racist to say we need a trans in this film. We need a white heterosexual to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
You can't. It's so weird.
But you're not wrong. It's like they literally have a checklist to tick all the boxes. Like in this film, you have a couple of disabled actors, and you have a small person, a dwarf,
Yes.
Is that the term we're allowed to use now?
I think it's dwarf or little people.
Yeah, there's a little person in the film.
Warwick Davis-esque.
Yes, there's little people with disabilities, different ethnicities, different abilities, all of this stuff. And it's like, but if these people you're including in the film and they have 1 or 2 lines, then they're basically fucking scenery. That's more insulting. You're not giving them an interesting part with character development and an arc and resolution, or giving them any form of personality, other going, oh, look, that person's got a disability and he's in our film. That person's small and he's in our film.
I'm not digging out that dwarf, but he couldn't act.
No.
It was shit acting. When he did speak and when he did have a line, it was poorly delivered.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, but that's a quality. Like, equality is judging him on his acting abilities, and that's where he's credited, not about the size. If he was a great actor and put in a performance, you'd be like, he was great. You shouldn't even be looking at the fact that he's different to everyone else, but that's what they do.
I was low. He was a distraction. My eyes went straight to him. I stopped watching the rest of the scene, and I looked because I wanted to see if he could act, and I looked down and I was like, can't act. So that was it.
In a film where we're reviewing performances, you should be reviewing his performance as well.
I was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what are the 3 greatest buddy comedies of all time?
Probably in the list I've done. Pineapple Express, definitely.
Oh, it kills me.
Due Date. Buddy, you're talking two people travelling together.
Yeah, two people. Is a buddy comedies normally? I guess you could say Hangover's a buddy comedy, but there's just a group of buddies.
I tell you one I do love, and I've never really heard many people talk about it, is the Sandra Bullock, Melissa McCarthy Heat.
Oh shit! No, I've never seen that. It's
2
never
coppers.
appealed to me.
They're 2 coppers. One of them's the rough, dirty sort of Nick Nolte. Doesn't do it by the book, and Sandra Bullock's the FBI agent, does everything by the book. It's so funny, man. The opening sequence, Melissa McCarthy's like basically interrogating a John, this like an IT guy who's come to sleep with a prostitute. It's one of the best openings to a comedy I've ever seen.
Shit, I have to check that out.
You have got to watch it. It's such a funny film. That's a great buddy comedy. Due Date, Pineapple Express, and Heat. Yeah.
To touch on Pineapple Express, I used to watch that film possibly on a weekly basis with an old friend that I no longer speak to called Cannabis.
Because you
Can't
were
handle
stoned
it.
every week.
Well, exactly. I would smoke the herb and watch that film and crease myself at a stoner comedy. And if I was to watch that now, it'd be the only time I'd be like, oh, I miss weed.
See,
It fucked with my head too much.
The few times I did have weed, comedies didn't hit. I had to be sober for a comedy to laugh. Weed worked for me because I'd laugh at something that weren't supposed to be funny, like the news at 10.
And that's never funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. My 3 top greatest buddy comedies, Pineapple Express is there or thereabouts, but Superbad, Hot Fuzz, 21 Jump Street kills me as well.
I was going for duos. I thought Superbad was more like a
I guess you're right.
triumvirate.
I guess you're right. I could replace that with Pineapple Express then. But Hot Fuzz killed me when I saw that at the cinema, and 21 Jump Street, classic.
Yeah.
They work so well together.
What's the name of the guy, the coach? That he goes, don't do that. Put your tongue back in.
Yeah, it kills
I always
me.
forget his name.
Yeah, Rob something, isn't it?
Not up in here.
He's fucking great. That's the thing as well with those sort of comedies. There's so many quotable moments. Other than the parodies in this film, could you ever do you think even in a week's time you'd be quoting anything from this film, other than the cock choruses?
Even them, I mean, I had to write down to remember them for this. No, not at all. Not at all.
Sad, isn't it?
Nothing. And quotes. That's what it is. Comedies are highly quotable.
Should be.
Yeah.
Good comedies are highly quotable.
Yeah. But you can call me Nighthawk. I love it. Step Brothers. I love it. Hey, I forgot to ask you, do you like guacamole? Like, their lines.
We just become best friends.
Yeah, I never forget them.
Yeah.
You motorboated them, didn't you? You motorboated son of a bitch. Where is she? She's still in the house? What is wrong with you? What do you mean, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Fucking brilliant.
Oh, I love it. Using your actual first name, what would your explicit parody performer name be?
Harry, son of some guy. Because my name's Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
But some people call me Harry, so if I go Harry, son of some guy, like I'm the son of some guy that I don't know, Harry, son of some guy.
That's good. That's strong.
I was going to go Harry, son, cream of some young guy, but that's from Wayne's World.
Oh, okay.
So I couldn't take that.
That's
hard,
good.
man. I got an odd name.
Yeah, well, I thought you might have gone as basic as Hard on Harry, and I'm glad you didn't because you're better than
I know, but I had to use my full.
Oh, you didn't have to.
First
You
name,
could have gone
Harrison.
You could have gone Harold. You could have gone Harry.
Well, I could have gone Harry up, come on my back.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You've covered all bases there.
Wait, hurry up, she's almost home. That's my name.
Okay.
Yeah.
As in,
Hurry up, she's almost home.
it's good though.
Yeah.
It's strong. It's better than mine. I've just got Adam John in a thong.
Okay.
Or Adam.
But he never wears a thong.
He wears nothing.
That's the thing.
Adam John in a thong or adamant. I can get you there. My
Adamant.
name's hard.
My name's hard. That's it. My name is hard.
There you go. My name is hard.
No. Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve?
Yeah, because the first two people to fuck in biblical history, but you're called Adam. Adam and Eve.
Booth.
Yeah. Or Adam and Steve.
Booth.
Beef.
What would you rate Ricky Stanicky out of 10, please?
4.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.5. You're probably getting a 1.5 there because it was a break from genocide, child abuse, and
Yeah.
homosexual suicide stories. It was,
Yeah, it
essentially.
was, for lack of a better word, it was a palate cleanser. So credit where credit's due. We've done a lot of heavy hitting, bleak episodes recently.
It was a pickled egg in a pub. Pickled egg.
Yeah.
To cleanse the old palate.
That's right, yeah. I've gone lower, surprise, surprise. I've gone 3.5.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, for me, listen, without Cena, I think this would have been a 2 or 1. A fucking 1.5.
You've never really gone. 2's the lowest
but
you've gone.
I think it lies in this nostalgia I have for supposed R-rated comedies. And to be fair, if I didn't see on the poster for this R-rated comedy, I might not have gone as low as 3.5.
That's not
because
nostalgia.
it was sold. Because if it was sold as one thing and it felt like something completely different, I was like, what the fuck?
That's not nostalgia, Lou. If something's funny, it's funny, and it tends to remain so. That's it.
Yeah.
Nostalgia is hanging on to something that's no longer good.
Yeah, what I kind of meant was like I felt nostalgic for what wasn't there. I was expecting for my nostalgia to be served because it was R-rated. I was expecting going, it's going to be really wacky, riotous, rude, raunchy comedy, and it wasn't. And like I said, it had all of its gags was about cock.
Yeah. Well, thank God we've still got satire and dark comedy out there.
Exactly.
I mean, Triangle of Sadness had me reeling.
Banshees of Inisherin.
Laughing,
Things.
because somehow they've managed to go under the radar.
Yeah.
By saying it's a dark comedy, just change the label.
Well, exactly. Same with Poor Things. Like, they're not trying to be your wacky R-rated comedies. They're comedies with something to say, and they are actually successful in adding other layers to it, which this film isn't, and it tries to do that and fails miserably as far as I'm concerned.
Odd choice for Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Odd choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing Ironclaw though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
What a cast! Callum Turner, Harris Dickinson,
Yeah. Zac Efron.
and Zach.
Holt McCallany.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the dad. He's your daddy from Mindhunter.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looking
he
forward
is.
to seeing that one.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Efron, did you hear what happened to his face?
No.
Well, did you? Because I was speaking to my partner about this morning.
He has a face.
He does have a face. That is a fact. But she was like, I couldn't stop looking at Zac Efron's face. And I was like, what, because he's beautiful?
Looks a bit tight.
And he's like, I know, I think he's had work. And I was like, yeah, he's had work on it because the man shattered his jaw.
Doing Ironclaw.
No. He was apparently he was running in his house, in his socks, slipped, his face stacked into a water fountain, and it completely shattered his jaw.
Was he running to his potty? What do you mean he's running around his house in his socks? All I saw, right, when you just said that, was a big dick banging left to right on his legs while he ran in high white socks.
I mean, I'm not here to comment on the size of Efron's member. I don't know. But what I read, he said he slipped because he was running in running in socks, slipped and slopped his face on a water fountain, and it mushed up his
Man's
mush.
got a water fountain.
Yeah. That gives Ricky Stanicky a total score of 8 out of 20. If you like your R-rated comedies to be bland, bollockless and box-ticking, or if you've ever wanted to see Cena carry a comedy with cock choruses and masturbation melodies, then Ricky Stanicky could be a film for you. Ricky Stanicky is available to stream on Amazon Prime. Consider watching this one if you enjoyed Tag, The Hangover and Old School. Should we play a game?
Cock.
Give it a name, give it a name, give it a name now. We birth a plot and then make a trailer. What the plot?
Action!
I'm quite positive this isn't a film or no one's ever made it into a film, but I think it should and could be a brilliant film. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to Ma and me, just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. Now, I don't blame him, 'cause he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue. Well, he must have thought that it was quite a joke, and it got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. Seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle and I'd get red, and some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean. My fists got hard and my wits got keen. Roamed from town to town to hide my shame, but I made a vow to the moon and stars. I'd search the honky-tonks and bars and kill that man that gave me that awful name. Well, it was in Gatenburg in mid-July and I just hit town and my throat was dry. I thought I'd stop and have myself a brew at an old saloon on a street of mud. There at a table there was a dealing stud, sat the dirty mangy dog that named me Sue. Well, I knew that snake was my own sweet dad from a worn-out picture that my mum had had, and I knew that scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and bent and grey and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, "My name is Sue, how do you do? Now you gonna die." Yeah, that's what I told him. Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes and he went down, but to my surprise, come up with a knife and cut off a piece of my ear, but I busted a chair right across his teeth and we crashed through the wall and into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. I tell you, I've fought tougher men, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. I heard him laugh and then I heard him cuss, and he went for his gun and I pulled mine first. He stood there looking at me and I saw him smile and he said, "Son, this world is rough, and if a man's going to make it, he's got to be tough. I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along, so I gave you this name and I said goodbye. I knew you'd have to get tough or die. And it's that name that helped me make you strong." "Yeah," he said. "Now you just fought one hell of a fight, and I know you hate me, and you got it right to kill me now, and I wouldn't blame you if you do, but you'll ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your guts and the spit in your eye. Because I'm that named you Sue." It must have been a swear word. Yeah, what could I do? What could I do? I got all choked up and threw down my gun, called him Pa, and he called me his son. And I came away with a different point of view. And I think about him now and then, every time I try and every time I win. And if I ever get a son, I think I'm going to name him Bill or George, anything but Sue. I still hate that name.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's fucking
wicked plot.
That's heavy.
Such a cool plot.
So in a podcast where every single episode we do a song based on a synopsis, we're now doing a synopsis based on a song. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
What a story, though. Abandonment. So the dad leaves, but he cruelly names his son a name that the boy just thinks is a joke. He thinks it's there to make his life worse, even though his dad's left. But the truth was he did it because he knew it would make him tough.
Oof. And that's a song on...
Boy Named Sue by Johnny Cash.
It's Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
Johnny Cash dad called him Sue?
No, it's a song.
Oh, it's not true?
Johnny Cash is called Johnny Cash.
I thought that was... I fully bought into it.
Just a creative song.
Oh, okay, fuck
the song's like, "Well, my daddy left home when I was 3 and he didn't leave much to Ma and me, just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze."
Okay.
You might know. It's a great song. It's epic. It's a song that tells a story. I love it.
I literally sat there listening to this... You read that song and I was going, fucking hell, man, poor Sue.
It's hard to read it when you don't sing it.
Yeah.
Because of the inflection.
Well, I like that. I like that a lot. And I think I've got it. I think I've done it.
Yeah, be quick, I reckon.
Man's been going on about Joel Edgerton and Barry Keoghan being lookalikes.
You did.
This is my moment. So as the dad, I'd have Joel Edgerton, and as Sue, the boy called Sue, I'd have Barry Keoghan. Directing a film, I'd have Sam Mendes, because I see this as a straight-out drama, and he's a great dramatic director.
Mm-hmm.
With, American Beauty, so there could be elements of humour in there as well. And for the name, I'd just call it A Boy Named Sue.
I knew you did that. That's perfect.
Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to Ma and me, just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. Now I don't blame him 'cause he ran and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue. Well, he must have thought that it was quite a joke, and he got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. It seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some guy would giggle and I'd get red, and some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue.